Now, I got to tell you, Allie, I spend a lot of time reading books like Fierce, Free, and Full of Fire by Jen Hatmaker, Untamed
Yeah.
by Glennon Doyle, The Girl Wash Your Face, Rachel Hollis. And because I critique these books and I review these books. And what you've just said is literally the opposite of the
Yeah.
advice that these women are giving in these books. Rachel Hollis says, your goal is to be the hero of your own story. Put yourself first. Jen Hatmaker will walk you through all kinds of different sociological things you can do, personality tests, all kinds of stuff you can do to be enough for yourself. That's the message that these women are giving. And you are giving, thankfully, and I thank God for you, you are giving the exact opposite, almost shockingly opposite answer. You're saying, no, the opposite is true. You have to realize how not enough you are. But then you say, but that's the start of the good news. Expand on that a little bit.
Yes. And so everyone that you just listed, in addition to, I would say, people like Brene Brown and other
Yes.
kind of influencers, they all have very similar self-empowerment messages. And people ask me all the time, how did this become so popular? Because it feels good. We
Yeah.
are instinctively, I think, compelled to be our own gods and to self-worship. See, they have a different mentality than Christianity does about the natural state of human beings, whereas they kind of argue, either implicitly or explicitly, that deep down we are really good, that deep down there is this hidden goddess inside of us, and it's just societal norms and bad church experiences and other people's opinions that are holding our real awesome goddess self back. But once you dig down there with personality tests and all that different stuff and reading my book, then you'll finally be able to unleash that perfect goddess and you'll be able to manifest all of these good things in your life. Whereas Christianity says, no, actually, even though, yes, you're so valuable and you're made in the image of God, you have a soul that's going to live forever. And obviously you matter because God sent his own son to die for you. But the reason that he died for you is because you're not good deep down. You do not have this inner goddess waiting to be unleashed. Who you are on the inside is corrupt and depraved and has to not just be improved, but made new by
Mm.
Christ, and made new by the Holy Spirit. And so they are two very disparate views of the nature of human beings that we're seeing from the Jen Hatmaker, Rachel Hollis crowd, and that we see in Christianity. And I think that is what's causing a lot of the confusion in people that are looking at those two conflicting messages. And I think that is also part of why they are so appealing, because in our self-righteousness, which is
Mm.
natural, and in our arrogance, in our pride, we don't want to believe that deep down we are bad. We don't want to believe that we need saving. We don't want to believe that we are imperfect and need to be made new. We want to believe exactly what Satan told Eve in the garden, that you actually can have the power of God if you just do this thing. If you just listen to me, God just doesn't want you to be as powerful. It is the same lie
Mm.
that has been recycled and repackaged by these women who are saying, if you just do these things, then you will have the power to basically be your own God.
Mm.
And the irony is that they are saying you're perfect the way you are, you're enough the way you are, you're empowered and fulfilled in yourself. But oh, by the way, you need to read my book to really get there. Oh, you need to take this personality test to really get there. You need to, do my entrepreneurial workbook to really get there. Well, if you were enough, if inside you had all the tools that you needed to be happy and to be fulfilled, you wouldn't need to read their books. You wouldn't need to follow their programs. You wouldn't need to repeat their mantras or take their personality test. You would have it all inside of you already. But they're actually saying, while they're simultaneously selling books by telling you you're all you need, they're saying you need me. You also need me. You also need my wisdom. That's how they make their money. And so it's a paradox, and it's a
Mm.
lie, really. It's a lie. And the truth is much more freeing. And this is what your question was about. The truth is that we get to recognize that we're actually not enough, that God made us not enough. He made us not just with the capacity to sin, but He made us. Well, let me rephrase that. He made us in need of redemption, and he made us in need of salvation, but not just that, also sanctification and also strength. There is nowhere in the Bible where you will find a story of man's sufficiency. The entirety of the biblical narrative is about Christ's sufficiency, God's sufficiency, and our utter dependency, our utter need for him, our utter insufficiency and inadequacy, and our inability to save ourselves. And that is a much more, it might sound self-deprecating, but it's much more freeing to realize I don't have to rely on my sufficiency or the 10 motivating mantras that I repeat in the morning or reading some book to finally make me feel fulfilled. Or if your life was a journey to find your inner goddess, how exhausting would that be? When really you get to turn your eyes to Jesus, who is our sufficiency, who says that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Well, the burden of the God of self is very heavy and its yoke is very difficult. And so the good news is that we don't have to depend on our enoughness, but Christ's enoughness, which doesn't change based on our opinions of ourselves or our circumstances.
Man, if I had a microphone in my hand, I would just drop it right there.